Hi, I'm Akos Jankura. Have you ever noticed that the great salespeople in real estate have fantastic relationship skills? Oh my goodness gracious. If you've ever watched some of these $100 million sellers, holy moly, they walk into the room, they look like they're bringing their brother or their old friend, and they trust each other and everything's great. Well, let me tell you something, that doesn't happen by accident. I mean, I'm going to teach you how to become that great relationship builder that is needed to become a fantastic real estate agent, right? So step number one is common ground, all right? So how do you reach common ground? Common ground, let me give you the definition of common ground. Common ground is a topic that you guys share that you can talk about. Common ground, right? So when you first meet somebody, maybe you're at an open house or maybe you on floor time or maybe you're just out and about in the community, maybe at a booth or something, maybe at the Rotary Club meeting or something, and you meet somebody new, you see somebody new. Your job as a real estate agent is to break the ice and say hello. I know that's complicated when I put that out to you, that say hello, that kind of sounds normal. Well, I gotta tell you something. In our office here, I'm the broker, and people come and go all the time. They don't say hello, and they don't say goodbye. It doesn't happen twice, because if you come into my office and you walk in and don't say hello, I might just come say, hey, what's wrong with you? We didn't say hello? Not for nothing. I'm the old guy in the room. Come say hello. As I get older, I don't see so many people. It's nice to say hello to somebody sometimes. So say hello. And by the way, say goodbye. I can't stand it when people leave the office and where'd that guy go? I don't know, he left. He didn't say goodbye? No, let's go back to some basics. Say hello and say goodbye. And when it comes to real estate, you're not selling anything unless you're saying hello. And they probably think you're a little bit more polite when you say goodbye. So how do you get the common ground? Well, first of all, when I first meet somebody, my most powerful tool is my hand, right? Because, let me set this up for a second. Around every person, I want you to think about this, around yourself, you have a safe zone. If you put your arms out like this, and you spin around, that is your comfortable, safe zone. As long as people are outside of this zone, you're happy, right? Am I right? There's only a few people you let into that zone. Your children, your grandchildren, your spouse, your loved one, your mother, your father. They get to come into the zone, some closer than others, right? In fact, with my wife, if she's not in the zone, something's wrong, right? So that zone, I want you to understand. That zone is around your body, and that zone is your comfort zone. Now, if I want your attention, all I have to do is break the plane of the zone. Now, you can't do that. You got to be appropriate about that. You just can't go and breaking into somebody's comfort zones and getting too close. But I do it with my hand, right? Because I can say hello, it's socially acceptable for me to reach out my hand right into your zone and say, hi, I'm Akos. Yours? Watch that again. Hi, my name's Akos. Yours? And stay there. Gets a little uncomfortable, doesn't it? You feel it? My hand's in your zone. And you're looking at my hand going, how do I get the hand out of the zone? This is not good. He's in my zone. It's uncomfortable. I don't like people in my zone. He's not my spouse. He's not my children. He's not my grandchildren. Why is his hand in my zone? That's all the thoughts going through your head. So a natural tendency now is for you to reach out your hand and say, hi, I'm George, or whatever your name is, right? So the first thing I do is I say hello, break your zone with my hand, put it into your uncomfort zone, and I know that you're going to tell me your name because you want to be comfortable again. And it's, by the way, the polite thing to do. Hi, I'm George. Right? Step one, break the plane, say hello. I don't know you're saying to me, well, it's kind of basic. What are you, some kind of a guru? Say hello? But you'll be surprised how many people don't do that. Right? I want you to do that. Now, while you're saying hello, your second job is to observe. What do I look for? I look for visual cues. Oh, baseball hat, Yankees, or hockey, or whatever sport. People like to wear things on their bodies that are their favorite sport. If you see me, I'm always got maybe a Tampa Bay Lightning hat on, or I'm wearing a Remax shirt, or I look for visual cues. Maybe it's a lady who's got some kind of a horse thing, a trinket on their purse or something, right? I'm looking. I look down. Oh, he's in flip flops. That kid's got men's in flip flops. I don't know. I got this thing. Maybe men shouldn't be wearing flip flops in public. I don't know. But that's my mother's upbringing. But I noticed. So that's a pretty casual person. Maybe did he come off the beach? Maybe he likes the beach. Oh, look, he's wearing swimming shorts. And one thing about today's society, back in the old days, what did we used to do? We used to dress up. We used to wear a suit, a jacket, a tie. That was a uniform. Today, and that was standard. Go back far enough, men used to wear a hat. Now we've broken all those social things, and now apparently we're so comfortable in Florida, we show up in basically underwear and flip-flops, and apparently that's appropriate, right? Or, you know what I'm talking about, guys in, I'm looking at some of my colleagues, listen, and I wear shorts a lot of the time too, but it depends on this. So I can notice that, oh, the guy likes the beach. Oh, maybe I notice a sailing thing on them. Oh, you're a sailor. Oh, and when I say hello to somebody, I'm listening. Oh, that name sounds interesting. What is that, Polish? And he goes, yeah, I'm Polish. So I pick up on cues. Where are you from? It's a good second question. Hi, my name's Akos. Where are you from? I'm going to tell you, in Florida, they're from somewhere, right? I'm from Michigan. I'm from Illinois. I'm from Canada. I'm from, right? So when you talk about from, I'm looking for common ground. I'm picking up cues. I'm listening for cues. I'm watching for cues. I'm observing. And I do this deliberately because my goal is to reach common ground. And I can't do that unless I find some. If you've ever seen me in a training session or a coaching session, you'll know that first thing I do is I go around the room, say hello to everybody. But what I'm really doing is I'm not just being polite, I'm picking up on visual and audio clues in order to reach common ground. Why? Because if I'm training you, I need your trust. If I'm training you, you need to think well of me. And I can only do that if I hit common ground, rapport, and higher power. And when it comes to selling real estate, you need all these three. And by the way, the first time you're going to say, Akos was right, is when you're doing your showing agreements and your buyer-broker agreements. I was doing buyer-broker agreements long before it was necessary, right? There was other reasons I did it, because I wanted to build trust, and it was a good measure for am I achieving this, right? And I'm going to teach you that in different videos. How do you do a showing agreement and a buyer-broker agreement quickly, effectively, and with complete comfort? And I think a lot of agents struggle with this. Of course they struggle with it. They struggle with saying hello, or building common ground. They don't even know common ground is necessary, right? Common ground is absolutely vital. So how do I do it? I might pick up on the fact when I shake somebody's hand that their name's a little bit different like mine, Akos. People always say, where's Akos from? I was born here, but my parents were Hungarian. You know, my mother was Transylvanian. I deliberately say it because I'm looking for engagement. Transylvanian? You mean like vampires and stuff? I go, yes. I have 2 extra canine teeth, but that's another story. I do, actually. So, where are you from? Michigan. Maybe I notice on the guy's hat, this happened to me the other day. I met a customer, and he was wearing a Detroit Tigers hat, Mr. Taylor, right? And showing property. And I said, oh, you're a baseball fan? And he goes, yeah, I am. Tigers probably, right? Yeah, Tigers, I'm from Detroit. Oh yeah, I love the Tigers. All of a sudden we're talking about the park, and we're talking about how great they were a couple of years ago, how bad they are now. And I go, who are they playing? I go, they're playing the Yankees tonight. Oh, the Yankees. And all of a sudden we have a conversation about baseball. And what I'm looking for in that conversation isn't just to gather information. My next step is, are they engaging me? That's interesting. By the way, probably good dating advice too. Actually, this is good advice in any relationship building, in any circumstance, anywhere. So, say hello, look for visual clues, listen for audio clues, and your next sign of success, are they engaging you with questions? I can ask as many questions as the cows come home, but it's not important. What comes important is whether they're asking questions of me. If I'm just talking, I'm just a narcissist, right? Talking about myself. I need them to talk about themselves and ask me a question because now they have some desire to get to know me. Now this happens on common ground. So I'll give you an example. That Detroit Tiger guy goes, oh, who's your favorite team? Ching ching. What now? Are you asking me a question? Suddenly you're interested in what I think? Start to get the connection to real estate now? Are you listening? Can you hear me now? My answer? Well, we like the Tampa Bay Rays, of course, right? I grew up I was up in St. Petersburg. I love the Rays. And you know, my hometown where I was born was Toronto, and I follow the Blue Jays. It's 50-year anniversary this year. I remember the day in high school in grade 12, actually grade 13, we have an extra year up there at the time. They don't anymore. I remember sitting in the cafeteria, sneaking the transistor radio in to hear the first game. Blue Jays is second. And my third favorite team is anybody playing the Yankees. And usually that gets a chuckle out of them. What are we doing? Common ground. Listen for their name. I had one customer, she was Polish. Where are you from? Poland. Oh, fantastic. Maybe they say, where are you from? They say Michigan. No, I meant, where's your heritage? Well, my family's Polish. I'm Hungarian. You know what I love about Hungarian and Polish? Food. And they go, yeah. I go, you know how many recipes we share together? Oh my gosh, I know pierogies is great. Hungarians don't do pierogies, but my gosh, spatzli and nokedli. People who know, if you know, you know, right? And all of a sudden, yeah, we do the same thing. We just call it different things. Hey, do you make cabbage rolls? Like, you know, next thing you know, common ground. What's your favorite food? What am I looking for? I want them to ask me what my favorite food is. So in the common ground exercise, the key points are they asking me? Are they engaging me? When they start doing that, you've achieved common ground and you've achieved rapport. That's right. You keep looking for common ground until they ask you something, and that's when, check, you have rapport, right? That's your first step. These are the most important things in building a relationship in order to sell a lot of real estate. So that is your number one step, right? Listen, we're going to do a separate video on higher power. I'm going to do that second video. I want you to follow that video too, because that's really important, that second video on higher power. So, what's your homework? I want your homework to be no real estate selling yet, because I'll teach you how to sell real estate. But first of all, and most of all, I want you to walk into strange situations. Maybe you're at the grocery store. I do it all the time in Publix. I mean, I got to tell you, I think the cashiers already know, oh, there's Akos again. He's selling real estate. Well, no, I'm not. I'm asking about recipes and what's in their cart and what are they doing with that. Because, you know, I live in a great ethnic community here. I see some stuff like, I always tell the story. Last time I did it, I had this lady, she had this big pork shoulder in her cart there. I go, pork shoulder? I got to tell you, not a lot of people know how to make good pork shoulder. Hungarians do. We love pork shoulder. We have a great pork shoulder recipe. And you know what else I figured out? The Spanish do too. They know how to do pork shoulder. Go ask a Cuban family to make you a pork shoulder, or a Mexican family, they think it's a good pork. So I saw this pork shoulder going, I think you got to ask the butcher to make it for you. I don't even think they put it on the shelf, right? And so I said, oh, pork shoulder, what are you going to do with that? Oh, we do this. All of a sudden, the woman tells me what she's doing for the pork shoulder. And I said, oh, man, I thought Hungarians do pork shoulder well. I've just discovered. Next thing I know, I'm in a conversation. This is common ground. And as soon as she asks me something back, I have rapport. I'm not selling them real estate yet, but it's the first steps. So this week, I want you to take 5 days. You can take Saturday and Sunday off. 5 days, I want you to be out of your comfort zone. I want you to put that hand out there in their comfort zone, break the ice. I want you to do visual observations and audio observations. I want you to build common ground without selling real estate. Trust me when I tell you, you'll sell some real estate out of it too, but try not to sell real estate. Learn that skill. Learn that skill. And then I'm going to teach you how to become higher power in the next video. Now, let me tell you why you need to do this. People say, oh, yeah, I get it. No, you don't. Let me ask you, if you were a boxer, can you throw a left hook? Can you do a combination? Sure, somebody teaches you. But if you're in that ring and you got to think about it, somebody else is going to have your breakfast. Another real estate agent's going to beat you to that deal because they're good at it. So the only way to get good at something is to practice. Let me tell you something. You've read the book, right? And the only way to become the world leader at it is to do it 10,000 times. So I'm asking you to do it 5 times. And the 5 times will become hundreds of times one day. The hundreds of times will be thousands of times. The next thing you do, you will be an elite realtor. So practice. Don't just theoretically know, execute. Because the more you execute, the easier it is. The more easier it is, the more time you're less thinking about what I'm doing, and you're making it a reflex so that you can focus on selling. But you need that reflex. And the first reflex I want you to teach you is common ground and rapport. All right? So I'm Akos Jankura. If you want a personal coaching, if you want more coaching, just call me. Right? You can reach out to me. You can text me. I'm very available. My number is 727-773-7829. I'll give that number out until too many of you call me. Or you can email me. My email address is akos, as in Sam, Akos at remaxlandmark.com. I love coaching people on there. A lot of times I do it for nothing on there. I'll give you some guidance on there. Or if you're at a brokerage and you want them to maybe teach more or coach more, tune into the channel. Subscribe. Follow our Facebook page. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Watch for the new videos on there. Anyways, all I want you to be, I really do, I want you to be an elite realtor. Anyways, I'm Akos Jankura, and that's